It's another Gettin Real with Ashleydawn. I'm Ashleydawn. And this one comes from a special place. So I'm going to a wedding. My friends are getting married. I went to the rehearsal yesterday and the rehearsal dinner. And this weekend has been absolutely amazing and it's been wonderful. Well, as I was leaving today, my sweet mom, I love you, Mom. She watches all my videos. She's my biggest fan. She says to me, "Don't worry, one day we'll be doing this for you." And I looked at her and I said, yeah, maybe not. And that came from a very real, very raw, open place to just be like, yes, I have hope. But if I'm being honest, it's hard as a single 33-year-old woman to have hope that there's an amazing guy out there that is going to be all the things that I know I want and I know that I deserve. Now, I see my friends, getting into relationships and I see awesome things happening for them. I just went to a wedding a little while ago for my friends Donnie and Julie, and so I know it's happening for people, but I struggle with believing that it's going to happen for me. All day long, I can encourage you and tell you yes, God hears your prayers, God's going to answer them, yes, but if I'm being real, if I'm being honest, I struggle with believing that God's going to do it for me, but I don't struggle with believing God's going to do it for others. And I think a lot of that comes from getting hurt and having trust issues because, what I went through, everything looked perfect. Everything was just, like a design. And then when it all fell apart, well, really, it was all apart to begin with, but when the truth came out and I was like, wow, this isn't what I thought it was. This isn't, what it appeared to be or what it seemed to be. And so, I don't know. When my mom said that, it just kind of hit me some kind of way. And I'm like, do I believe that I'm going to get married in the future? Do I believe that there is a godly man of integrity out there just for me? If I'm being honest, sometimes I struggle with that. Sometimes I struggle with believing that there's an honest man out there. Isn't that bad? And a lot of it is just because I've been so hurt in the past that it's hard to believe that somebody in the future won't hurt me. And I'm just being real. I am just being real. When you get hurt, sometimes it's hard to love again. Sometimes it's hard to trust again. Maybe that's why I've been single for so long, I don't know. I know that I know what I want and I know what I don't want. And I'm not willing to settle and I'm not willing to compromise my morals or the morals that I want my husband to have. For instance, I was, watching my friends Jim and Ashley yesterday at their rehearsal, and just the way that they love each other, and they're not perfect, but they serve one another. Jim is constantly making sure that Ashley has everything she needs. Ashley is constantly making sure that Jim has everything he needs. And no, they're not perfect. Yes, they have their bad days too, but it's just such a beautiful representation to where you see that. And you say, well, Ashleydawn, if God did it for them, why do you struggle believing that he's going to do it for you? And, there again, I think it's because the ages, they're a lot younger. And so I just feel like, I don't know, if you're younger, you can find love easier than if you're older. Doesn't that sound crazy? But that's how I think. I'm just being real. Yeah. So, but when my mom said that, it kind of took me, not by surprise, but I kind of was just like, maybe not. And that took her by surprise. She's like, what do you mean maybe not? And I'm like, yeah, it might not. And that made me think, how many other women, single women out there, single Christian, godly women out there that are thinking the same thing, where someone says, oh, or maybe I've told them, maybe I've said, your man is out there, you just hold on, you just keep doing what you're doing, keep being you. How many women have I told that to that maybe struggle to believe that too? I think that that's a lot of reason why so many women settle. They settle for a guy that puts them down. They settle for a guy that doesn't treat them well. Because they're like, well, I'm lonely. This is all that I have. No, honey. No. Do not settle for a guy that puts you down. Do not settle for a man that doesn't make you feel like you are his gift from God. Do not settle for that. Don't settle for that. Don't settle for someone that makes you feel like you are an inconvenience. Don't settle for somebody that makes you feel like you're not the most special person in their world. Don't settle. No matter how lonely you get, no matter how bad you want to get married, no matter how bad you want that relationship, do not settle. Don't settle. Don't do it. Because the moment that you settle is the moment that you are going to regret it. It's the moment that you're going to realize, ooh, I should have waited. Ooh, God had more for me. God does have more for you. God has more for me too. God has a man of integrity for me. A man that's going to raise our children with honor and decency and compassion. A man that's going to walk in biblical masculinity. A man that's going to lay his life down for me and our children. A man that is going to serve the Lord and protect and provide for me. A man who is going to talk with me and share the deep hurts in his life and share the things that he struggles with and be open and vulnerable and spiritually and emotionally naked. There is a man out there for me. Even though I don't believe it sometimes. Even though I struggle to believe that it's real, to believe that it can happen. And I just want to encourage you, there's a man like that out there for you too. Do not settle. Do not let the enemy put doubt and fear in your mind. Believe me, I've been there. I'm kind of there right now. I'm struggling with a little bit of trust. Trusting that God can bring that man into my life. Trusting that God wants to bless me. I do struggle with that sometimes. And I'm sure that just as I struggle with that, if you struggle with that too, you're not alone. God has blessings in store for you. So I just want to encourage you. There is your dream come true out there. There is that answered prayer out there. You're not alone. I struggle too. You are seen, you are celebrated, and you are loved. And I'll catch you in the next one.